welcome to another episode of the 740 Sports Show. I'm your host, Eric, and as always, I'm joined by longtime brother Bub.
Hello.
From the right side today.
Yeah, we switched it up a little bit.
Switching it up. Bub kept both bottles of water. Switched it up.
You have a big one over there.
You know, it's all good. It's all good. Insert fake bottle of water here. Welcome to episode 16. We've got a great one in store for the people, Bub. We've got Ironmen football in store. We've got some college football in store for the folks. The second week of college football rankings, right before we're beginning here, just coming out. So we're going to get Bub's take on week 2 of the college football playoff rankings here. And I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like week 1.
Yeah.
And we're also going to recap Sunday Funday that we just had and talk about some NFL football. So, Bub, first and foremost here, we're going to kick it off for the reason I'm talking that I'm talking this way today.
Yeah.
The Ironman football game.
Yeah.
Mind you, guys, we're recording. It's Tuesday night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, we do this on Mondays. Tuesday night, still have the raspy voice. What a game. What a game. Not the outcome.
It was a great one.
Not the outcome we wanted. Ironman fell 14-10 to Bloom Carroll, a really good Bloom Carroll football team.
Yes.
And definitely not the way we wanted to see the season come to an end, but a great game nonetheless.
No, it was an exciting one. Felt like Jackson won a good bit of the game, just kind of couldn't control it at the end of each half, and that kind of came back to haunt them and everything, but they had a great season.
Yeah.
Nothing to be ashamed of at all.
Yeah, nothing. Certainly not at all in the season there. Unfortunately, as far as the game goes, I think the biggest other than the fourth down touchdown pass, the biggest kick, I'm just going to call it kick in the nuts to all of this, man, is not having Cade on the field the second half of that game.
Second half of that game was tough to watch without him.
Yeah, it was. But I will say though, Cade, we hope you're doing all right. It seems like things are going okay. We hope you're doing well, buddy. Congrats on a great career. I know it's not the way you wanted it to end, but what a way.
Excited to see him at Kent State.
Yeah, excited to see you there, and we're going to talk a little bit more about you here shortly here. But Cade, little brother, long-time little brother Bodie, bald, man.
Great game.
Took it upon himself, I think, to battle back for the Ironman and try to get the win for his team in this one. Maybe the carry of his life in the first half of this game on the bootleg there.
Really matured as a sophomore through the year.
Man, you talk about maybe the best year of improvement any quarterback in Jackson history has ever had. I mean, we're talking just straight improvement game to game, man. It's hard to think of anyone that did it more consistently and more regularly though. So Bodie, man, heck of a season for you, and we hate to see it come to a close, but we're looking for a big junior year from you, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But I think the Ironmen, Bub, like you said, they finished the year strong. This is a crazy statistic, man. Coach Hall's 7th 10-win season in his 15 years with the Jackson Ironman football program.
Pretty insane stat.
That's unbelievable, and I think the GOAT conversation is I think that one's kind of over with at Jackson. I think Coach Hall is pretty much the greatest ever to ever have the whistle in hand, Bob.
Different eras,
different football. It's tough to compare, but man, I mean, 7 10-win seasons
up there,
definitely up there. And congrats to you, Coach. What a season you put together, and we're looking forward to a big one next year. So, Bob, anything else on that one, man? I know it was a heartbreaker. I know there's not one you want to talk about.
Ironman season comes to an end.
Comes to an end.
Excited to see what comes along next year.
10-2 season coming to an end. I said we were going to mention Cade again. Be sure, Bob, it's election day.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's election day.
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Oh, I know, but a lot of big things going on this election day. A lot of big issues, a lot of big topics, and I'm just saying, vote yes on 8. Vote yes on 8, Cade for Player of the Year, man. Vote yes on number 8. Cade for Gridiron Glory Player of the Year. 2,313 total yards, Bub. 10.2 yards per carry, Bub.
It's insane.
33 total tutties, Bub.
Yeah.
Insane numbers from the kid, man. Absolutely insane numbers. My personal opinion, maybe the best ball carrier to ever do it at Jackson. I like that Osborne kid too, but man, Cade, it was something special. So get your votes in for Cade. He worked his butt off, had a great career. Gridiron Glory Player of the Year, it's down to 5. Get him in for Cade Wolford. Bub, it was a heck of a Friday night.
Yeah.
It was a fun Friday night. It was an also fun Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty exciting one.
We had a sleepover, did we, at the house, Bub? It was a great Saturday night. And college football.
Mm-hmm.
College football Saturday. It proved to be a big one. It kicked off with the top 4 last week coming out. You revealed your top 4 to the people last week, Bob. Why don't you go ahead and talk about your top 4 versus the committee's top 4?
I think it's pretty crazy that they had Ohio State at number 1, and they didn't have Washington in it at all. I think Washington's got the best win of the season against number 6 Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're not in the top 4, but I think they should be ahead of Florida State.
Yeah.
Georgia number 2, Michigan number 3. I felt like it should have been Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3.
Right.
But Ohio State does have better wins than both Michigan and Georgia.
Yeah, and I see it. I see it from both sides. Sorry, not to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good.
I see it from both sides, and you could make a case for any one of these teams in the top 4, and not necessarily any particular order.
Yeah, I
but,
mean, the order
each
only
one
comes
of them,
into play at the end of the year.
Each one of them has something they can stand on at the end of the day. That Michigan defense is stout. That Georgia team's won 26 in a row. Ohio State looks great. They're playing good football. They've got arguably the best resume. Washington does have arguably the best win. Florida State has played good football all season long. They struggled a little bit with Pitt this weekend early, but got the job done in conference game. You expect that on the road. But, man, what a top 4 this is shaping up to be this year.
Yeah, they're just not a super dominant team. I mean, you can say Michigan's been the most dominant, but they've also probably been the least proven out of these 4 teams.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Michigan's definitely doing good this year for sure.
It's kind of crazy to think that if something were to shake up in the top 4, Bama's really on the outside looking in. I mean, they're
It's
sitting
crazy,
at 8 now.
man. Yeah,
So-
it's crazy, and we were just listening to some stuff there too, because they've got a loss to Texas, a pretty good Texas team. I know it was in Tuscaloosa, but you know.
But that Texas team has a loss to an Oklahoma team who now has 2
Sure,
losses.
I know, and you start doing the domino thing,
and then you can
spirals.
do it by proxy.
But in my eyes, I don't think Alabama's the 8th worst team. In my eyth personally,
the 8th best team.
what is it?
You said the 8th worst team.
I don't think they're
best
the
team.
8th. Well, technically, I mean, it
Yeah.
would be the 8th worst team.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll split hairs here, Bob. But anyway, but I personally, if I've got to watch Washington and Alabama and place money on that game, I'm going to have a hard time placing money on Washington. At the end of the day. So
Wait, really? I would not at all.
I'm just saying.
No,
man,
not this Bama team. This Bama team is
I'm
not
just
a great
saying,
Bama team.
in those situations, of top 4 situations against Nick Saban, he's got 2, 3, 4 weeks to prepare. I'm just saying that there's something to be said for those things as well. So you can make the case for Alabama. What I'm saying is all the way 1 through 8, you can make those cases for any of those teams. Alabama's got some good wins. They just beat a really talented LSU team this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's really their only one.
They're in the SEC.
I know, but I mean, they play Kentucky and Auburn down the stretch. Neither of them are ranked now. I think they've only beaten 2 top 25 teams, which I think are back in
their schedule, though.
I understand that.
Too. I don't know. I at the end of the day, very, very good 1 through 8 here that we're seeing. So it's getting good. It's getting good. So let's get into some of what we saw this weekend, Bob. Anything that stood out to you this past weekend in the college football scene?
Marvin Harrison makes big plays whenever Ohio State needs them. That's pretty much what I got from the Rutgers game. Nothing. The defense has played well. I think they're giving up, 10 points a game, and then they give up 16, so let's call it 11 or whatever.
Yep.
Notre Dame falling to Clemson was a big shock.
Yeah.
I know not too like the betters and like the Las Vegas and everything, but it seemed like a big upset to me.
Yeah. That was definitely one that I found pretty intriguing on Saturday. Clemson team looked really fired up, especially after. Don't know if you heard any of the phone call that Dabo.
I did. I heard that.
Dabo was hot on that phone call, and arguably, rightfully so. I mean, like you said, 10 win seasons. Something to be said about those things, and those things matter. And a Clemson team that struggled. Don't forget where Dabo's helped you get anyway. So. Took a relatively disrespectful call, and they answered the call this weekend too, man. So
they got a big win for theirs. I think
win.
Dabo stays above 500 for the year.
Yeah, I think they're 5-4 right now, if
them.
I'm not mistaken. Big win there, getting that one done, and Oklahoma falling again. Oklahoma State on the road.
Yeah, no, that was a hot environment for Oklahoma to come into. Oklahoma State was rocking.
Yeah.
And from start to finish, just kind of took care of Oklahoma.
Yeah, and that's always one of those rivalry games you always kind of hang on to the
Well, I
edge of your
think
seat with.
there was something they were talking about. I can't remember exactly, but it was like the last. I don't know if it was the last time they played at like Oklahoma State's like old stadium or something. There was something like some kind of significant part.
It might be the last matchup between those two teams.
Oh, really?
Because of the split conference.
The SEC shakeup with Oklahoma.
Right,
yeah, true.
right. So I think
that was the last matchup between the two.
I think that's what you're seeing there in that one. But
very lopsided rivalry.
Absolutely,
Oklahoma.
Very lopsided rivalry. And as a matter of fact, we're going to get back to both of those teams here shortly. But Georgia held on to beat a tough Mizzou team.
At Mizzou, I think.
Yeah, it was at Mizzou. A tough Mizzou team that I think a lot of people... actually, I can't remember. Was this one at Mizzou?
I'm not sure.
I'm thinking this one was at Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm thinking they play at home again this week against another tough opponent. I thought Ole Miss. So anyway, could have been at Mizzou, could have been at Georgia. Nonetheless, they got it done. A lot of people... Georgia... or Mizzou rather surprised me a little bit. I think that they were kind of the question mark team. Is it their year to once again get blown out and lose by 30?
Yeah, they've
this
had
type
some
of game.
They've had some close losses. They lost to LSU by like 3 or something like that.
Right.
That was a shootout.
Right.
So
Right.
They're a competitive team in the SEC.
Yep. So that was a pretty fun game in the afternoon slot there, and then of course Alabama and LSU in the evening slot there. That was a fun one.
Yeah, no, that was a shootout for that matchup.
Yes.
Yeah, usually you see your 6-3s and everything. I just remember that being a score. It was like 2008 and stuff whenever Brandon Spikes was playing for Florida.
I
matchups.
like points. I love points.
Zach Mettenberger days for LSU.
Don't remind me.
The nightcap, though, Washington beating USC.
Yeah. Let's talk about that big Penix energy.
Yeah,
man.
Michael Penix looking like the front runner for the Heisman.
He was definitely on one. I think he definitely took a step forward in the Heisman conversation. Caleb Williams loses the game. Wants to go home, cuddle his dogs. Listen, I've been there.
Yeah,
I've lost games.
Yeah. Speak your mind.
We've lived in the same house. I've come home, cuddled my dog, right? Moody, R.I.P. Moods.
Yeah.
Hey, but there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it, dude.
Yeah.
I just thought.
I mean, if you're gonna go home and cuddle your dogs, and
I guess
you just tell people the truth. What are you gonna do about it?
It's just if I'm wanting ownership stake in a team, though, I'm not going to necessarily go home.
I think he's solidified that not happening.
Yeah.
I
would hope. Yeah.
He's been on a pretty. I mean, his stats are probably really good, but it's still not like the level we were expecting.
Yeah, I mean, his stats are there. The guy can get the numbers.
Yeah, he's a numbers guy.
But
he hasn't won the big games.
Hasn't won the big games. And I like to like people. I like to want to root for people, man. Caleb Williams is making it tougher for me, man. He's making it tougher for me. Bub, we got a pretty nice slate of games looking ahead this week. What are you thinking ahead this week here? We got number 2 Michigan at number 9, Penn State. 12 o'clock.
I think Michigan goes into Penn State, kind of takes care of business. I think they win by 2 scores.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really see Penn State. Like, Penn State's that team now. They've got to prove it to me. They've kind of slipped into the UCLA, Georgia, Oregon category. Now that Georgia's been pushed out, Penn State has to be pushed in.
Okay.
UCLA is going to get kicked out because they're just vacancy at this point.
Okay.
We need another person. Maybe Notre Dame.
So you got Penn State falling by 2 scores in this one.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I just don't think they got the firepower to match with Michigan. Corum's stud.
Yeah, he is.
Their wide receiver Wilson, I believe, number 1. Just faster than hell.
Yeah. Well, and
McCarthy's playing well.
And McCarthy's playing well. He's another Heisman front runner.
Yeah, exactly. Don't sleep on him.
So don't sleep on him. But I think he needs to play well in this game.
He's got 2 big. He's got 2 big games to win a Heisman.
I think a lot of people. I say this, Penn State still has a single-digit rank, but I think people are still sleeping on Penn State and what Penn State program can be. That energy of that stadium. If this game's at Michigan, I'm looking at it going, no problem. Penn State, noon game, probably. I don't know if it's a whiteout or something to that extent. Maybe.
I mean, probably.
I mean, so
they'll have the towels.
It's going to go. It's going to go nuts. That place is going to go nuts. I look for Michigan to survive this one. I think they're going to get it done, but I don't think it's 2 scores. So
Okay.
that's where we're at, bub. Number 14, Tennessee taking on number 16, Mizzou in the 3:30 slot Saturday, bub. It's an interesting matchup here.
It is. It's very interesting, especially Missouri at number 16.
Yes.
Not that they're a bad team or anything. It's just they've had some, like I said, they've had some few losses that have kind of not fallen their way. So,
Yeah.
But I guess Tennessee has as well. Like this, I think that'll be a really good matchup. I think Mizzou's going to win one. I think this is the game Mizzou kind of wins,
Gets it done.
pulls out. Yeah, at Mizzou.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take Mizzou on that one. I'll take Mizzou by 3.
Okay, Bob, going with Mizzou, the home team. A little bit of a. I don't know what the odds are on this one here, Bob. I would imagine at home they're probably a favorite in this game.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough Mizzou to know a ton about them. I'll tell you what I do know though. I know that Jim Milton has a big arm.
Yeah.
And I know that Jim Milton might have something to say about this.
Yeah.
But Mizzou's going to roll in this one. I think that they get the job done. I think they get back in the win column in this one. I think it's going to be like a 7-point game myself. Utah, number 13, at number 5, Washington in the afternoon slot. Bub, the big Phoenix Energy.
I think Utah's that team that can kind of survive against teams that they're playing against because their quarterback situation is just really not there anymore with Cam Rising being hurt.
Right.
But I think once you kind of crack into that top 6 with Oregon and Washington, they're going to kind of feel what it's like, and I think Washington is going to take them to the woodshed.
Yeah, I like Washington in this one. I got Washington by 21.
I was going to say Washington 17.
All right, Bub. Okay. I'm bigger on the Phoenix Energy in this one. I like that. Okay, here we go. This one's going to be a nice one in the evening slot here, Bub, just before the Ohio State game kicks off. Number 10, Ole Miss, and the Fighting Lane Kiffins taking on the Georgia Bulldogs in Georgia.
If this game is at Ole Miss, this might be the game Georgia slips up.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's at Georgia, which
Yeah.
makes it really hard to go against them.
Yeah, it does.
But man, Ole Miss has looked really good.
Ole Miss has looked good. They just they just survived / beat a pretty good Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's just the
program. It's
yeah,
not necessarily a great team.
It's
but
those
a good
conference
program.
games that are
In conference games and division games, like in the NFL.
But I'll take Georgia. I think this will be a close one. I'm going to take Georgia by 7.
Okay, Georgia by 7 in this one. I do think that this one will be close as well. I'll go Dogs by 10 in this one. I think that maybe they get a bigger lead early, and Ole Miss gets back into it as the game goes on. That's kind of what I've got in mind here.
I think Ole Miss will definitely have to play catch up the whole game and then kind of steal one in the second half.
Yeah, I've got this game going like 10-3 and then like a 17-6 type
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. And then Ole Miss kind of has to make a rally after half with the possession changes and everything.
That's where I'm at with this one. Then the Ohio State game, 7:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
Michigan State at Ohio State. Give me a prediction.
Yeah, I'll give you.
Let's make it interesting.
Yeah,
give me a spread.
I'll give you Ohio State giving 30 and a half.
All right, big one at home, bub.
Yeah.
Big one at home. Got that Ohio State offense clicking. I like that.
It's just Michigan State's not good.
Yeah, I'm with you on
Yeah.
that. I'm with you on that.
I still would like to see McCord be better.
Yeah. I need to see a little bit from McCord before I start going 31-point spreads, but I'll take Ohio State by a 20 spot. I like Ohio State like a 31-10 type game. That'd be 21, I guess, but 21. So 30-10 to 31-10, somewhere in that ballpark. Bub, upset alert. I'm so happy to incorporate upset alert into this week's episode. Who do you have? Because we've been all over these the past few weeks. You had a couple that you got right. Who'd you have? Oklahoma falling, and you had UNC falling to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
That happened. And then we talked a little bit last week, and who I had one Clemson.
Yeah.
Right, I had Clemson falling to Notre Dame last week.
No.
Clemson beating Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Sorry, Clemson beating Notre Dame. I had Notre Dame falling to Clemson. Bub, who we got on upset alert this week?
Unfortunately, I kind of catch myself watching a lot of West Virginia football.
Oh.
I only say that just because Travis Elliott, you know.
Well, I say fortunately because of our buddy Traylon.
Well, no, I mean not like that.
Nope.
I just have to hear it from Travis every time they win. Like,
Shout out to Parmar.
I only get to hear I only get to read a message from him every time they win, and
Every
it just
time
starts
they win.
triggering me.
Yep, I understand.
But I think they have looked amazing
Yeah.
over the last few weeks. They just beat a BYU team.
Yeah.
nothing crazy as far as record wise, but just the way they handled them.
Yeah.
They seemed like a team that could crack the top 25.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma's just been struggling.
Oklahoma has been struggling.
Is it
yeah.
Gabriel Daniels? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabriel Daniels. He's made some bad decisions. So I'm taking WVU defeating Oklahoma.
All right. I like the Mountaineers. This is one that I tossed around as well this week. So once you picked it, I'm going to keep mine in state here in a moment too. But once you picked it, I was like, okay, I'll back away from it, give it to you. I watched the Mountaineers take on UCF a few weeks ago. Ruin homecoming for the Golden Knights. Loved every second of it. I too love the take there, bub. Shout out Traylon, shout out Parmar. I have UCF. Actually, this time, knocking off Oklahoma State.
Really?
This one's in Central Florida. Just a matchup I feel decent about. I think Oklahoma State, coming off of a big win last week, might be a little bit of a trap game for them. Maybe underestimating UCF. UCF's the team that hung with Oklahoma, played them pretty tough as well. And their team I've watched a little bit. So barring any injuries or anything like that I'm not familiar with, I've got them potentially knocking off OK State.
All I can think about when I see UCF this year is their blown lead to Baylor.
Yeah, it was tough.
And it won me a bet. So with that, I like it. Take them. Oklahoma State running off that high from Oklahoma.
We love it. But we're going to keep it moving. Cool with you?
Absolutely.
Good deal. Because we kept it moving on Sunday, as a matter of fact.
An adventurous week.
We had to keep it moving Sunday because we didn't have a good Saturday night, bub. We got shown up mildly on hamburger.
Yeah.
The snap count is on 1. Dow, are you ready? All right.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Bub, are you ready?
You gotta get past that line right.
The goal line is here. Down. Set. Hut. Oh! Boom! Down.
Ready, set, hut.
Oh, he got there. He reviewed. That ball might have crossed.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was rough. It wasn't our
was
best
bad.
performance.
No, but I swear if we didn't have socks
If we
on.
didn't have socks on, like it would have been fine, probably. But we did have socks on. If you go back, look at the film, we had socks on. Dallin didn't. Dallin didn't have
he had all
socks.
the
It was
grip.
a major advantage. So we'll get to that. Sunday, though, was much more fun. Sunday was much more fun. We did a little pit stop Sunday.
A few of them that day.
Pit stops that day. The first one of which came to our buddies at Card Collector 2.
Yeah.
Swung up to Card Collector 2 in Grove City. Stopped in there.
Yeah.
We journeyed into the 614.
Yes, we did. That is
Through the
area
buildings.
code, yes.
Through the buildings. So many buildings, bud.
No, that
We like it here in the woods. In the
yeah,
south,
that place is
where-
a maze because everything looks the same up there.
Yeah,
But
everything.
it is a cool little town. Not little town.
It's
big
awesome.
town.
We just don't get out much, bud.
No, I like
We're
going up
working
there.
on it. We're working on it. Slipped over to Lincoln Tower Park to watch our buddy Matt Hump in our 740 spotlight as he and the Ohio State Buckeyes club football team took on the Toledo Rockets. That's going to be a separate video. So much fun. That was a blast. That was a great time. And the best part of Sunday, maybe the best part of Sunday, NFL football, bub.
Yeah.
NFL football was wild this weekend.
Yeah, we made
It's
an oath to watch the
started.
game in Germany, and we didn't get it until about 10:30.
It
It was the time
started
change.
At 9:30. It started at 9:30. We were so hyped about Sunday morning football, bub.
Yeah.
Sunday morning time change. I woke up, gave it a big stretch, thought, why am I so rested? Looked at the clock, bub. It was wrong. The
Yeah.
clock was wrong. But the day was right. We started the day off with the Chiefs and the Dolphins
Yeah.
overseas.
In
In Germany.
Red, yellow, and black flag.
That,
Correct?
I'm assuming so. I think it's black, red, yellow.
I
Can
don't
you name-
care.
Can you name them in order?
No.
Top to,
No, I don't care that
I'm
much.
going to go black, red, yellow.
I know, like,
Chiefs.
there's a lot of flags that look the same, and that's like, and then you gotta deviate by color or differentiate by color, but that's stupid. No. Just have stars and stripes,
Black,
or
red. Yellow.
like a highest flag, pin it. Like it's cool, like it's a pennant shape. Like, there you go.
Yeah.
Make it simple.
What's yours? Black.
I'm gonna if I'm gonna say black, I'm gonna say black, red, yellow. Yeah.
Okay, so you're stopping me. Okay.
No, I just think that's what it is.
I'm just kidding. This game kicked off in Germany. The Chiefs, I don't know if I say survived the Dolphins. I don't think it's the right word, but they definitely held on to win this one after taking a 21-point lead early.
Yeah, I think just kind of coming off that loss to Denver or the week before, the Chiefs kind of finding their mojo. Dolphins are a tough opponent to come and play against.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially when you don't even really have the home field advantage. You're just overseas and you're the home team.
Right.
So.
Everything about this game enticed me. I wish we would have had time to sit down and watch it. Saw some videos of Germany leading up to this, and like there's a Dolphins bar in
really?
Germany that was just wild. It was
out
on
of
like
place.
Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone accidentally dropped a Dolphins bar in Frankfurt or somewhere. I don't know, but it was wild. So I started to feel good about the Dolphins, and then I started looking at like travel and yada yada yada. I was like, I don't know about this, man, because they left later, and the Chiefs took a little bit earlier. Took advantage of leaving earlier. Chiefs got healthy. Took the Chiefs in this one. Happy to see the Chiefs get it done. But
I think we all did.
The narrative becomes though, Miami, man, having a tough time winning the big ones right now, bub.
Yes, they are, and Brown and Rob believed that they could win it, and they were the two to take the L on that one.
All right. And Bub, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get to some pick'ems while we do some of this. So, where are we in our pick'ems for this week?
So we kind of rounded off the week. Brown and you won the week. Actually, you guys tied at 10-4.
All right, Brown. Hey.
Yeah.
Good job.
So good week to you guys.
All right. Wow.
Myself.
Hey, speaking of Brown, he did not have a good week. Sorry to interrupt. He did not have a good week in fantasy.
Did he not?
He did not.
Did you play him?
I did.
Let me see it. Oh, well, you know what? That's right. Yes, it is that right there.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you that I forgot to set my lineup.
And you still beat him? Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me.
Purdy at quarterback. He had a bye.
Oh.
But I also had C.J. Stroud, baby. And CJ
balled. 5 touchdowns.
I think I won by like 35.
Oh, man.
So, tough one for you there, Brown.
No,
but hey, we got it done in our pickings.
Yeah,
but you continue.
I have no idea where I was at. Oh, yes, myself. Talking about myself. Yes.
Yeah, you gave me the state.
I finished with 9 wins, 5 losses.
Good job, bub.
Yeah, I'm just kind of riding in the middle, cruise control.
Let's remind the goal is to beat Rob or Wop.
Yeah, Travis. And
Travis. That's the only goal. Travis is the house.
Travis is the standard to beat.
Yeah, he's the house.
And
we're all going against Travis.
Rob tied him this week at 8-6.
Okay.
Which brings us to Brown with 22 wins on the year and 8 losses. And me and you and Travis all at 20 wins and 10 losses. And Rob is rounding up the rear with 9 wins and 11 losses.
Imagine Rob rounding up the rear.
Still plenty of weeks left. I think it's trending in the direction everybody anticipated.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we like it. We're moving right along, Bob. So let's go ahead and break down some of these games that we looked into here. Steelers held off the Titans on Thursday night, right? I know I was all over the Steelers in that one. I think Brown and I were the only ones that take the Steelers, correct?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so. Yeah. I don't know why. I just thought Tennessee would kind of get a win to turn their season around and maybe compete in that AFC South. Pittsburgh just grinded their way to another close win.
Yeah, I did struggle with this one a little bit, and we talked in the chat some too, but I ultimately thought that I hoped Pittsburgh could bank off of a little bit of home energy and maybe a Will Levis mistake at some point. Thankfully for Pittsburgh, happened to be with like 8 seconds to go in the game, picked the Quan Alexander, who entered the game after Cole Holcomb left.
Unfortunate for him. He's out for the year.
That one's tough for Pittsburgh. But we got Cam Hayward back. It does help a little bit.
No, that's a big pickup for him.
So got a win. Wasn't pretty, but
that's been every win for them this year.
You take it, but hey, 5-3.
Exactly. They don't ask how. They ask how many.
Second in the division right now.
Yeah, tied with everybody else except for the Ravens. God. That division is so tough. Like, if it ended today, all four teams would be in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just a crazy division, and it has been for a decade and a half, but this year feels wild. Like, it feels wild. This is the first year it really feels like... Okay, let's talk about this. I don't necessarily think Pittsburgh's a contender in the division.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a true contender.
No, and I think the only two teams are the Ravens and the Bengals. I think that's what everybody believes. Just the Browns could be, but they've had the unfortunate injury to Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson.
You can only dodge so many bullets.
Exactly. Yeah, they're bound to get caught up. I mean.
So obviously, I'm sure you're feeling great about Cincy's chances at this point in the division, but the Ravens are looking good, man. I mean, they balled this week against a pretty good Seahawks team, man.
No, the Seahawks have kind of the worst end of the AFC North this year.
I would love to know what their strength of schedule is.
No, I know.
It's got to
well,
be nuts.
I mean, if you play all the AFC North, which, I mean, they do, you're going to play, 5-3 for
Plus
whatever that is.
Plus they played the Niners, right? I think they've got one against the Niners already. I think they dropped one to San Francisco.
Well, you got to play them twice, so that sucks either way.
That's tough. San Francisco, much needed bye week this week, by the way. We'll get away from that. But yeah, Baltimore thought looked great. In Baltimore, getting a huge home win, 37-3. Excuse me. What a win for Baltimore. That offense is booming. Dude.
They're the hottest team in the NFL. Highest margin of victory.
Highest margin of victory. So just to give people an idea, they are as good as the Giants are bad. They've got a plus 150 or 115 margin of victory. The Giants have a negative 116. Yeah. So they're as good as the Giants are bad. That should tell you something. And they're winning games on the road. They're 4-1 on the road too, which
they've been
impressive.
Very good.
When I start looking at teams back end of the year, have you won games on the road and have you won games in the division? That tells me that that's the type of team that could be a real contender as the year goes on.
Well, yeah, you got Lamar throwing to Mark Andrews, and then in the backfield that. Since Lamar can run, he complements any running back, so you can make running backs like Gus Edwards and Justice Hill.
Sure.
Which Justice Hill's been balling. He's a good athlete. So.
Yeah. Well, I think personally too that because you played Cincinnati earlier in the year, you beat Cincinnati by 3. Joe wasn't healthy. I think if you're Cincinnati, you're feeling okay because you're getting your
Cincinnati,
team back.
You're 5-3.
This is where Logan Wilson.
And Bills.
This is where your Logan Wilsons are going to shine too, because that linebacker core has the speed to hang with Lamar and to an extent.
Yeah, but Lamar has gotten the better of him in the past.
He has.
They've got to find a way to shut him down. But the Bengals are late bloomers.
This is also the fastest defense that I've seen from Cincinnati top to bottom, probably in my lifetime as well.
You had DJ Turner in the draft, the fastest guy in the draft last year, and that helps out a lot too.
Absolutely.
Because he's been playing well.
Yeah, absolutely. After an in-game here, Bub, we got into a little bit of the Eagles, Cowboys. That was a fun one.
Man, it just felt like Cowboys were destined to lose that game.
It did. Just to give you folks an idea of how destined the Cowboys were to lose this game. Bob and I, on the way home from a long day in Columbus.
Yeah.
Very long days for some of us, Bob.
I remember this part.
Well, I'll go ahead and fill you in on what you don't. So,
Bub went to the bars.
Bub goes to the bars. And I got what was left of Bub on the way home. So, we get a call from our buddy Stephen Ferris, and he's saying, "Oh man, Cowboys are about to score. They're about to beat the Eagles, man.
Yeah.
Cowboys about to beat the Eagles, man. They got him down on the goal line." So we throw it on in the car. Bub turns it on.
Most Ferris thing to happen
YouTube
ever.
TV. So I'm like, Bub, I don't know if I can trust Ferris on this one quite yet. Bub looking at me same way. I don't know. We turn it on, Bub. What do we see? First thing, Dak gets sacked.
Yep.
Backed up to like the 20-yard line, 26 or wherever they were. All downhill from there.
Yeah, and then CD catches the ball at like the 2-yard line on the last play of the game.
That was amazing.
But man, it sucks.
Yeah, that was what a time.
For Rob, I mean, I'm not mad at all that the Cowboys go down again.
Couldn't care less, Rob. Yeah. Couldn't care less.
He was the only one to actually pick them, I believe.
I think he was. So, I'm sure he was.
Which, I mean, if you're going to... No, Travis did as well.
Travis!
Which Travis has admitted Travis has admitted that this is not his best week. So.
I know
Rob never does.
Last week was his best week.
Rob never does, though.
Oh, well, fair enough. All of that Sunday football, Bub, culminated on Sunday night. At least for the first 10 minutes for you.
Yeah, I do got to honorable mention somebody.
Okay.
Josh Dobbs going to the Vikings and having 3 touchdowns.
What an outing to get the win for Minnesota.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. He's played very well this year. He showed up. He was at Arizona. Yeah, played well, managed that team. That team's awful. They were tanking. People were talking about them tanking before the season. He kept them
That's what was
from
crazy.
burning down.
He was the only person in the building not tanking in Arizona.
Yeah.
They shipped him out. They're like, "Hey, but you're not getting with it, dude.
Yeah, and he landed in the perfect
your ass
spot.
to Minnesota."
That's the perfect spot for him. Like, I'm not going to say Josh Dobbs is going to make Minnesota scarier than Kirk Cousins or anything, but that's a good team for him to land for, and that makes Minnesota a competitive team, in my opinion.
It keeps Minnesota.
Especially if you get Jefferson back.
It keeps Minnesota enticing.
Yeah.
Definitely keeps them
They're
enticing.
a scary team to
It
play
keeps
down
them in the
stretch.
hunt. But what I've got to think they've got a good culture in Minnesota, man. They've got a, like, next guy up. Literally every position we've seen. We've seen it at receiver, we've seen it at running back, and we've seen it at quarterback. Like, every receiver. So this next guy up mentality they've got going on in Minnesota has to be real. If they're on this week and I have time to watch them in a slot, I'm probably going to, because I got to see what Minnesota's doing to keep their heads above water. And as a Steelers fan, I'm saying, how are you guys winning these games? Like, we haven't outgained anybody all year. We're 5-3. How are you guys doing this as Vikings fans? I gotta know. So huge games. There's your honorable mention, Bub. Sunday Night Football was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome.
I watched until it was 14-7. This one I just couldn't stay awake for.
Bub gave the best part of his day to the afternoon in Grove City. Didn't have much of an evening left, but that's all right, because I might be able to fill you in on our little Bengals here, Bub.
Yeah, I actually
Looked
texted
good.
you that next morning to fill me in on the second half.
I did what I could. No reply in return, but it's all good. I'm just going to assume you got it. Bengals look good. Joe looked locked in. He looked healthy. Bengals play calling was spot freaking on all night. They got everybody involved. Mixon was involved. Out of the backfield, they got him involved, catching passes laterally. The play designed to Drew Sample on the 22-yard touchdown was phenomenal. They look good, man. The defense looks good too.
I do remember the bootleg, fake toss bootleg to the rookie Yoshi for 9 yards. I just like the creativity of it.
Yeah.
Get Burrow out in space and let him make a play.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only a 9-yard dump off, but he had options.
Well, that offense is becoming very, very efficient. Like, when I've watched Joe operate the last 2 weeks, it looks like what I was watching with Purdy with, like, pizzazz.
Yeah.
Like Purdy's efficiency was efficient, but it was efficient with 230 passing.
Yeah.
Joe's doing it with 350 passing, dude, and his efficiency's off the charts.
I think he's had 6 receivers with 3 receptions or more that game, and T. Higgins was feasting as well, which is nice to see.
That's great for Cincinnati, because if he can bring that number 2 punch, they're going to be a nightmare for teams.
And then Herb Smith and Tyler Boyd, if you can get Boyd kind of more involved with that seam, kind of in the slot, or get Herb Smith going, that's been their recipe for success for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Joe looks good. Joe looks healthy. He's moving around. He's going through progressions again. He didn't look rattled before. He just didn't look uncomfortable. He looked uncomfortable. So
yeah, but they do got a Houston team that's playing well.
I'm very excited for that 1 o'clock game this week against Houston. But Bub, they striped the jungle too. It was sick.
Oh yeah, like a crowd and everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy how they can pull that off.
Yeah, it was awesome. Shout out to Cincinnati. I saw a post, and the first comment down was, "We couldn't do this in New York." And it was like a Jets fan. I'm like, yeah, I agree. So that was cool.
We're not even talking about the Monday night game. Honestly, that game was.
That was rough. That was a tough one. Sunday Night Football though was a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and mention Monday night, since you did. Chargers beat the Jets. The gosh damn Jets.
Yeah, the Jets defense, tries to do their best to hold an offense down, but man, the Jets offense is just non-existent.
Yeah, tough one from the Jets. NFL, a lot of fun this week. Bub, Pittsburgh bringing back the block jerseys this week, man.
The block jerseys.
Block jerseys, like the block number on the jerseys, like the old throwback.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Throwing it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Saw J.J. Watt was on board with that, and he was saying, hey, let's go ahead and make these the standard. And by the way, while we're at it, yellow end zones. Yellow end zones in Pittsburgh wouldn't be half bad. You were not expecting any of this, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just thinking yellow end zones. I think I'd rather have black end zones, I think.
Okay. It's interesting. But the block numbers, you like those, right?
I'd have to see them. No, I got to see them.
Okay, fine. Anyway, do you have anything you'd like to add? This has been a fun one.
I thought I was really going to have something this week, but nope.
You never do.
No, I thought I was.
Too. You never even me.
I gave you the lip bite.
I thought. I thought
it was the
I thought maybe for a second there, you were going to have something of value to bring to the show, but here we are.
No.
All right. Well, fair enough. Boys and girls, that's going to pretty much be it for us here then, Bob. So if you would, like this video if you liked it. If you want to share it with somebody, they should.
Share, yeah, sharing is caring.
There we go. Sharing is caring. That's right. Sharing is caring. But yeah, Bub, this has been a great time. Be sure to be on the lookout for Matt Hump and the 740 Spotlight video. That video is going to drop in the next day or two. The amount of cooperation that I have had from Matt Hump, the coaching staff, the players, this is going to be fun.
Really?
Like, this is going to be fun. I have been nonstop with them since Sunday. I cannot wait for everybody to see this video and see what Matt's doing, and see what his team's doing, and just see the smiles on his face again playing this game. And it's going to be bigger than just one episode. He's having a blast. Ohio State Club football is very talented. It's a lot of fun. So can't wait to get that one out there. That's going to be coming this week. So keep an eye out for the 740 Spotlight video. And if you have anything that you'd like to see, just comment.
Yeah.
Just let us know. We're posting. If you got a team we're trying to see or talk about, let us know.
Just not tennis.
Just not tennis. We can't do tennis.
I don't know anything about tennis.
Bub
I can't talk about tennis.
Bubba can't do the tennis thing. Can't do the tennis
I can't tell you anything. I don't like the scoring.
Scoring?
Stupid.
What do you mean?
Counting by 15s and 30s and love and
Yeah, I
count
had a
normal.
teacher that
1,
asked me
2,
to do
3,
that
4.
one time.
What's so hard?
Yeah, I tried. Our teacher was like, "Can you count by 15s?"
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, no tennis. Don't comment tennis then.
Yeah, not tennis.
If you're going to, just send them my way. I like tennis. I'll make it happen. But if anything else, though, Bub might actually give you the time of day. So if that's going to be it for you, then, Bub.
Nope, I'm good.
All right, that's going to be it from us here on the 740 Sports Show. Be sure to do all of those things. Be sure to follow all of these things. And be sure to catch us on the next episode.
I'm out.
Of the 740 Sports Show.
Bye.